All right, welcome to Fumble Fever. We are continuing our series on the way to early predictions. This is show number 2 of the Big 12. If you missed the last one, we recapped the first 5 alphabetical teams in the Big 12. We're going to go on the next 5 right now. And with that, we're going to start with the Cowboys of Oklahoma State. Dylan, take it away.
I got them 9-3 overall with a big surprise win against Texas.
Yeah. That's surprising me a lot.
Yeah, very
that
big.
That whole statement surprising me a lot. Any particular reason why it's so high?
No, I just like their offense, really.
Okay, yeah, you can never go against the Oklahoma State offense, and I'm sure that will be good. I do, of course, love the fact that Chuba Hubbard is coming back for his senior season. He's one of the top 10 best running backs coming back this season, and 2 of which are in the Big 12, Chuba Hubbard and Puka Williams for Kansas. So really exciting news in that aspect.
Number 5 overall.
Yeah,
in the Big 12 and 45 in the
so
national.
middle of the pack in the Big 12. It's not too shabby for Oklahoma State standards.
But yeah, they got a quarterback coming in, Shane Illingworth.
Yeah,
he's number 163 nationally and number 6 at his position in the pro style.
Yeah, I've been excited for him. He's a 4-star quarterback, really rising the ranks there. I just hope that they obviously go with him and make the smart decision, because they have 2 other quarterbacks coming into this recruiting class. Spencer Sanders and Ethan Dulick. Ethan Dulick coming from JUCO, so hopefully not too much quarterback competition. I hope that they can pick one guy and stay steady with him and keep that offense rolling the way it needs to be. And hopefully maybe they can fix some of their problems on defense. I will note this, and I understand they have Chuba Hubbard, like I said earlier, but they didn't get a single running back in their recruiting class. And I really don't like that.
They don't have to worry about it until next year, though.
Well, you say that, but if he goes down, if he gets injured, if anything happens to Chuba Hubbard, they have some running backs on their roster now, but who do they really go to? I don't see how. I don't even see how you don't go after at least one running back every single year. I think that's one of those positions that you should always have covered. So that really scares me, and it scared me into putting them a lot lower than what you have. 6-6 overall and 3-6 in the conference. I'm not looking forward to Oklahoma State this year. I think they could lose some very disappointing games. So if we move down to Texas, literally down to Texas from Oklahoma State, how do you see them faring? Because I think they're always
This is probably going to be very surprising for you. 8-4.
Yeah.
But a couple of toss-up games, so I could see them going 10-2.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go with 8-4.
Okay. Well then.
And they do have a really good recruiting class this year. They're 9th overall and number 1 in the Big 12.
Yeah. So, I think this is going to be surprising to you, right back at you, because I actually have them faring a lot better than what you do. 11-1 overall. Hey, a perfect 9-0 in the conference. So that obviously includes a win over the Red River Showdown over Oklahoma. So,
if you go back in records, most the team that's the underdog has won most of the time. In the last 10 to 15 years.
I think Texas probably will come in as the underdog.
So,
to be honest, yeah, I have them going 11-1, but I don't think anybody's thinking that. So I think they will come in as the underdog, and I think they're going to continue to surprise people. That is a fun fact. Well,
and I'm guessing their long losses to LSU.
Yes, that's a really good guess. It is a long loss to LSU, of course. If I have 9-0 in the conference, I definitely don't have them losing to an FCS team. That would be pretty pathetic. But like you said, they have a really great recruiting class. They were first in the Big 12. They were 9th overall in the nation. So it's good to see Texas recruiting back to where Texas recruiting needs to be. Sam Ehlinger's coming back for his senior season. Really good choice. He was not ready for the NFL. I do like him a lot. I think he's got his ups and downs, of course. He's got a lot to learn. But he's going to take the time in his senior season to learn that stuff. And I think they're going to help. And I think they're going to be helped from the fact that Oklahoma might be a little bit down this year, and other teams not really as high as they need to be are going to help Texas. And full disclosure, I understand what everyone's thinking. Texas is overhyped every single year, right? Every single year, everyone expects great things from Texas. I promise you, every single year, I do not think great things for Texas. This is the one and only year that I'm thinking great things for Texas. I never think this, never. And I just want to clear the air on that because I don't want people thinking I'm one of those Texas bandwagon guys. I am not at all. So
you look like one.
I don't know what that means.
And just a little side note.
Okay.
Robertson, he's the running back.
Yeah.
He's number 1 in the country and at a position, and number 15 nationally.
Yeah.
Nationally.
Would you
not
say?
not naturally.
So
Should play right away.
yeah. The only two kind of bad notes that I have for Texas, and most teams I like leaving a positive note because Texas already had so good, I'll leave a bad note for them. They actually lost 2 4-star wide receivers to TCU. And these are guys from the state of Texas, so that's not good. Their names are Savion Williams and Quentin Johnston. And with that, I'll actually transition us into TCU. How do you have them?
Probably very surprising for you too. For this one, 4-8.
Oh my goodness.
And I wrote,
I want to know where did this come from?
you never know.
Ooh.
2 or 3 games I could see as toss-up games too.
Okay,
So they go 7-5. They did pretty good in recruitment. They're number 28 overall, and number 3 in the Big 12.
Yeah. I think that was great recruiting wise for TCU because when do you see TCU up near the top
Last year, I think they were like
schools
number
in the
25.
Big 12? I didn't pan out very well, but this year it's going to. This year it's going to 4-8. I have them the exact opposite at 8-4. So we are a bit different on that.
I kind of figured we would be.
Go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
It's okay. You want to see my wins and losses?
No.
You sure?
I'll trust you. We can get them out to the people later on. I can get them on a Facebook or something like that. Okay, I promise we'll get that written down. I mean, I made a pretty bold prediction about USC, so we'll let that be yours on Tuesday.
Okay.
I mean,
I think the biggest surprise will probably be Kansas.
Yeah.
They're at Kansas with that crazy crowd they have.
Oh yeah, that rowdy Kansas crowd. You know, rock
all 3 of them.
Oh. So I actually no. In reality, what you just said about TCU is surprising me. I don't think it's going to surprise anyone listening. I think they're going to expect more what you're saying. I think what I said will probably be more of a surprise because nobody's really thinking TCU is going to beat 8-4, especially if you're not following recruiting. Like not a lot of people do follow recruiting, but not to the extent that we're obviously going to be looking into it. And that's obviously why we're doing this, so we can get it out to the people. But I think they killed it recruiting-wise this year, and especially on offense. Like I said, they got those 4 stars coming in from Texas. They got some other wide receivers, 2 more wide receivers that are 3 stars that are coming in. They got 4-star offensive linemen. I mean, they're going to improve their offense tremendously, and a team that's already had a fairly good defense in all of their past years. So 8-4 in the conference. 8-4 overall, 6-3 in the conference. I think it might shock a lot of people, one way or the other. I guess somebody's going to be surprised between me and you if either of these happen. But I think it's going to be pretty good for TCU. I like the Horned Frogs going into this next season. A team that I'm not feeling very well with, and you might be feeling differently because we've been all over the place tonight, is Texas Tech.
No, I'm feeling the same way.
Okay.
Well, about 4-8.
Okay.
Around there.
That
One
sounds about right.
and 8 in the conference.
Mhm.
Not really too good in the recruiting.
No.
They're number 7 in the Big 12 and number 49 nationally.
Yeah. I think route about what you have. 5-7 overall is what I have them. 2-7 in the conference. I just noticed that recruiting wise, they got really nobody. They didn't get any offensive linemen, not really any good ones anyways, that are going to help them out. And that's a big issue that a lot of people like to overlook, but those guys are really crucial to the success of your team and your program moving forward. So, not looking forward to a lot of things coming from Texas Tech. Finally, though, West Virginia I think it's going to be kind of interesting. I don't know how you're going to feel about them.
I got them 5-7 and like 6-6 borderline.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna stay towards the 5-7
Okay.
area.
Sounds like a typical West Virginia year.
Yeah, like I said, everybody's been right around the same record. For me.
Yeah, they have.
It's been very close.
Uh-huh.
But they've had a pretty good recruiting year. The number 4 in the Big 12 and number 37 nationally.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's I'm liking about West Virginia going into this season. I'm not usually too fond of the Mountaineers, but this season, as you said, 4 out of 10 recruiting wise, that gets me pretty excited for them. I think it's overall, this is actually tied for their highest recruiting class ever.
Really?
So yeah, that surprised me too when I read that. So that speaks volumes to what they were able to do. So I have to give a lot of props to head coach Neil Brown because he was able to do that recruiting in 1 year, very first year. So for him to come in right away and recruit like that gives me a lot of hope for West Virginia heading on to future seasons. This season I think is going to be maybe a little bit better than expected, but I have them at 7-5 and 5-4 overall in the conference. So not too shabby for the Mountaineers, I'd say. It'll get them to a
bowl game.
Yeah, an okay bowl game. Not great, but it's just some of the better top tier teams in the Big 12 they won't be able to beat. But I think this is a year that we'll finally see West Virginia beat the teams they're supposed to. So we'll see how all that pans out. We'll see what happens to the Big 12. Before we close out, though, of course, we have to tell you guys who's going to be in the Big 12 championship game. And because there's not divisions, goes to the top two records, conference records. So your Big 12 championship game would be who?
Baylor and Oklahoma. And Oklahoma's going to win.
Rematch of last year, same result.
Yep.
You had the same thing for the Pac-12, right?
Yep.
It's
not a promise you. It's not gonna be a thing.
Are either of those guarantees?
No.
No.
We'll wait until later on in the season for me to guarantee.
That's
something.
fair enough. Or at least
later on in the off season.
Okay, that's fair enough for me. I actually have a very interesting scenario because hopefully it should be one that's going to get a lot of people watching. We've seen it before. Oklahoma versus Texas. Oklahoma, of course, with 2 losses in the conference. Texas with none. This is going to be a conference championship game that plays as a de facto playoff berth for Texas. I think Oklahoma wins.
You think so?
Yeah, I think in the rematch, Oklahoma wins that game. And I think a lot of chaos ensues because of that. It'd be a 2-loss Oklahoma Big 12 champion with only a 1 loss, or now 2, Texas runner-up. And I guess it just kind of depends at that point who else is left or who you choose for the playoffs. But not that I want all this chaos to happen. I kind of, part of me does, part of me doesn't, because I like kind of it being nice, easy on Selection Sunday to go in and just across the board. We know who the top 4 are, and nobody needs to riot in the streets tomorrow.
I think they've been pretty good with it the last couple years. Even though most people don't think so, I think they've been pretty good with it. Yeah. Picking the best 4 teams.
I think they got it right. At least the last 2 years, I think they've certainly got it right. I think they were shaky at the very start, but you should probably expect that, you know. We'll see how it pans out, because I don't really know how that's gonna toss things up, but I honestly believe that come the Big 12 championship game, that Oklahoma will win in the rematch against Texas. They'll have them figured out, and we've seen that exact scenario before too when they've played each other. So that'll be fun. I think it'll be a fun year in the Big 12. I think it'll be a year that they are able to gain a little bit of respect, hopefully, and get their conference rolling in the right direction. So we'll continue to see what our other conference champions are as we move throughout the rest of the season. We'll be coming at you next week with the Big Ten. So stay tuned, stay informed with that. The best way to get some of our latest news is to follow us on Twitter at Fumble Fever.
Hit the subscribe button and leave a comment down below. I don't know, what's your favorite season?
Of what?
What do you mean? What's
Season of what?
Season, like overall, like fall,
like
winter.
fall, winter, spring,
Yeah, or
season,
or tell me what your favorite seasoning is. What your favorite soda is. What's your favorite brand of fridge? I don't know.
Hit the like button and subscribe on YouTube. Thank you guys.